What if living a more peaceful, more fulfilling, even healthier life did not require a major transformation, but simply a few small shifts in the way we go about our day? What if the habits that shape a long, contented life were not grand gestures, but quiet rituals practiced with care? Today on Wise Elders Insight, we invite you to slow down with us and reflect on 9 everyday habits from German culture that might gently change how you live, how you think, and how you feel. These are not complex strategies or modern trends. They are timeless choices made again and again, small acts of respect, discipline, and connection that leave a lasting imprint. From arriving 5 minutes early to embracing restful Sundays, from choosing to walk instead of drive to sharing a quiet moment over coffee and cake, these habits remind us that life is not only about what we do, but how we do it. 1. Punctuality is a form of respect. In Germany, being on time is not just about keeping a schedule. It is a deeply rooted expression of character, self-discipline, and above all, respect. When someone shows up exactly when they say they will, or even a few minutes early, it sends a powerful unspoken message. It says, I value your time. I honor our agreement. You matter to me. This habit may seem small on the surface, but its impact is deeply human. In a time when running late has become so common, it is almost expected. Choosing to be punctual stands out. It brings peace instead of stress. It invites trust instead of tension. And it creates a kind of quiet harmony in relationships that many of us deeply long for. Think about it. When you arrive 5 or 10 minutes early, you're not rushing. You have time to take a breath, to collect your thoughts, to be fully present for the person you are about to meet. There is no frantic explanation, no apology, no guilt, just a moment of calm before connection. That moment is a gift, not just to the other person, but to yourself. For older adults especially, this habit carries even more value. As life slows down and schedules become more flexible, the choice to be punctual becomes a gentle form of structure. It creates rhythm in your day. It gives purpose to your actions. And it helps you show up with intention, not only for others, but for yourself. Punctuality in the German way is not about being strict or rigid. It is about being present. It is about saying, through your actions, I am here, I care, I respect you. And when practiced with consistency, this one habit can quietly transform the way we relate, the way we communicate, and the way we build lasting trust with the people who matter most. So let me ask you this. Could being just 5 minutes early add 5 years of deeper, more meaningful connection to your life? 2. Choosing cash over cards. In today's fast-paced world, swiping a card or tapping a phone has become second nature. Purchases happen in seconds and often without much thought. But in Germany, many people still prefer to carry and use cash. To some, this may seem old-fashioned. But there is a deeper wisdom in this simple habit, one that invites us to slow down and become more mindful about how we spend. When you hand over physical money, you feel the weight of what you are giving. You count each bill. You see the coins leave your hand. You're not just clicking a button, you're participating in the transaction. That physical connection makes spending feel more real, and because of that, people often spend less and think more carefully about their choices. For older adults, this habit holds special meaning. Many of us remember a time when cash was the only way to pay. Back then, budgeting was not done through mobile apps. It was done by setting aside envelopes for groceries, for the electric bill, for little treats. Returning to this habit can bring back a sense of control and clarity. It helps us reconnect with the value of our money and with the discipline that came naturally in earlier years. Carrying cash also strengthens local communities. When you pay with bills at a farmer's market or a small cafe, you are supporting real people, not just systems. And you are engaging in human interaction, looking someone in the eye, sharing a smile, saying thank you with intention. This does not mean abandoning all modern tools. It simply means choosing to be more present when you spend. In a world of digital speed, the quiet act of paying with cash becomes a small act of self-respect and awareness. So perhaps the key to feeling more financially peaceful is not found in another budgeting app, but in the sound of coins in your pocket and the wisdom of choosing what truly matters. 3. Honoring the sacredness of Sunday. In many places, Sunday has become just another day to catch up on laundry, errands, shopping, or bills. But in Germany, Sunday remains something sacred. It is not a religious requirement or a rule to follow. It is a cultural rhythm, a shared pause, a collective breath. Most stores and businesses in Germany close on Sundays, not because they have to, but because they choose to. This day is reserved for rest, reflection, and relationships. Instead of shopping or hustling, people take walks. They gather with family. They sit quietly in gardens or read by the window. There is no pressure to produce, only permission to be. This habit, when adopted with intention, can become deeply healing, especially for older adults. When life moves quickly, we often forget how much the soul needs stillness. A restful Sunday creates space to reconnect, not just with others, but with yourself. It allows your mind to settle, your heart to breathe, your body to recover. Think of it as a weekly reset, one day out of 7 where there is no rush, no to-do list, no expectation. Just time to enjoy what is already around you. Time to listen, to reflect, to appreciate. Time to slow down and remember that life is not just about doing more. It is about experiencing more deeply. And when Sunday is protected, Monday feels less heavy. There is clarity, there is energy, there is balance. It is not laziness, it is wisdom. The wisdom to recognize that rest is not a break from life. It is part of life. So, what would happen if you gave yourself permission to reclaim your Sunday? Not to fill it, but to feel it. Not to escape from the week, but to prepare your spirit to enter it with peace. 4. Waste not, want not. In many German households, nothing goes to waste, not because of scarcity, but because of a deep respect for what is available. This respect is not loud or dramatic. It is quiet, thoughtful, and often invisible to the outside world. It shows up in small choices: saving leftovers for tomorrow's lunch, turning off the lights when leaving a room, fixing something instead of throwing it away. This way of living is not about being frugal in a negative sense. It is about being intentional. It is about seeing the value in what we have, rather than always chasing after more. In Germany, using resources wisely is not just a habit. It is a reflection of character. It says, I appreciate this. I do not take it for granted. For older adults, this idea may feel familiar. Many of us grew up in homes where food was never wasted, where items were used until they could not be used anymore, and where care was taken with everything we owned. In today's throwaway culture, returning to these roots can feel grounding. It can reconnect us with the sense of gratitude that so often gets lost in modern convenience. Living with less waste also creates peace of mind. A clean refrigerator, a mindful shopping list, a tidy space, these things free up mental space. They give you clarity, and they encourage you to live more in the present, appreciating what is already enough. Even composting or sorting trash can become a ritual of gratitude. It reminds us that every apple core, every piece of paper, every drop of water came from somewhere and deserves care in where it goes next. So the next time you pause before throwing something away or find a new use for something old, know that you are not just saving money or reducing clutter. You are practicing love, quiet, humble love for the world around you and for the life you are living in it. 5. Walking and biking as a way of life. In Germany, Movement is not reserved for exercise classes or gym memberships. It is a natural part of everyday living. People walk to the bakery. They ride bikes to visit friends. They stroll after dinner, not to burn calories, but to enjoy the evening air. Movement is not something to schedule. It is simply something you do. For older adults, this approach is especially valuable. So often, physical activity is presented as a task, a chore to complete in order to stay healthy. But when movement is part of life's rhythm, it becomes joyful. There is no pressure, no special outfit, no equipment, just a walk around the block, just a ride to the store, just daily life, done with intention and presence. In many German towns, sidewalks and bike lanes are built into the design of the community. But even if you live somewhere less walkable, the principle remains the same. Choose the stairs instead of the elevator. Walk to the mailbox slowly, breathing deeply. Take time to notice your surroundings, to wave to a neighbor, to feel the warmth of the sun, to hear the birds. This type of movement is gentle but powerful. It keeps the joints working. It strengthens the heart. And perhaps most importantly, it keeps you connected to your neighborhood, to your body, and to the world around you. You do not need to go far or fast. You just need to go often, and to go with attention. Because every step is a statement. I am still here. I am still moving. I am still engaged in life. So the next time you think about your health, remember this. The best path forward might begin with a short walk and an open heart. 6. Keeping things tidy. One corner at a time. In many German homes, tidiness is not a chore. It is a quiet act of care. Keeping things clean and in order is seen not as something to impress others, but as something to bring peace to yourself. A tidy space is not about perfection. It is about creating an environment that reflects inner calm and respect for the life you live in that space. For older adults, this idea can be both comforting and empowering. As our surroundings become more personal, the little corners of our home matter even more. When we take time each day to sweep the floor, make the bed, or wipe the kitchen counter, we are doing more than cleaning. We are anchoring ourselves in routine. We are inviting clarity into our day. In German culture, this habit often begins early in life. Children are taught to clean up after themselves, to take pride in their belongings, and to leave things better than they found them. As adults, that same care extends to both private and shared spaces. Parks are clean, hallways are tidy, sidewalks are swept. It is a shared understanding that order brings dignity to everyday life. But you do not need to do everything all at once. You do not need to deep clean the entire house. Start small. One drawer, one table, one little moment of order in a world that often feels chaotic. When we tidy with intention, we also create mental space. Less clutter means fewer distractions. A clear surface invites a calm mind. And there is something deeply comforting about knowing where things are and having the space to enjoy what truly matters. So the next time you fold a towel or put away the dishes, do it slowly. Do it with care. Do it as a quiet gift to your future self and to the peace of your own home. 7. Separating trash with intention and respect. To many, sorting garbage might seem like a minor task, but in Germany, separating waste is a matter of everyday mindfulness and deep respect for the environment. From an early age, Germans are taught to sort their trash into categories: paper, plastic, glass, organic waste, and more. It is not done to follow rules. It is done to take responsibility. At first glance, this might seem like a hassle, but look a little deeper and you will see something meaningful. It is a habit that says, my actions matter, even after I throw something away. It is a reminder that everything has a place and that we are all part of something larger than ourselves. For older adults, this habit can be especially grounding. It brings back a sense of contribution. Even small acts, placing a bottle in the correct bin, composting food scraps, rinsing out a container before recycling, can restore a feeling of purpose and connection. You are not just getting rid of waste. You are caring for your community, your environment, and future generations. You do not have to do it perfectly. The goal is not perfection. It is awareness. It is about pausing for a moment and asking, where should this go? That pause is powerful. It brings thoughtfulness into the most ordinary routines. It turns everyday actions into quiet statements of care. And perhaps even more than recycling, it teaches us not to waste in the first place. When you think about where things go, you begin to buy more carefully, use more fully, and live more intentionally. So the next time you take out the trash, remember, it is not just what you are throwing away that matters. It is what you are choosing to keep, the values of respect, responsibility, and awareness. 8. Kaffee und Kuchen, a pause for the heart. Every afternoon, sometime between 3 and 4 o'clock, a gentle ritual takes place in many German homes. It is called Kaffee und Kuchen, which simply means coffee and cake. But it is so much more than a snack. It is a pause in the day, a time for slowing down, reconnecting, and savoring life in the quietest, sweetest way. In this moment, everything softens. The kitchen grows warm. The table is set, not fancy, just thoughtfully. A fresh pot of coffee is made. A cake, sometimes homemade, sometimes picked up from the local bakery, is sliced, and then people come together, not for business, not for obligation, but simply to share a moment. Friends, family, sometimes neighbors. Even those living alone might pause with a cup of coffee, a treat, and a window view, letting the world move gently by. This habit speaks directly to the part of us that longs for connection, not through screens, not through noise, but through presence. In a world that constantly tells us to do more, Kaffee und Kuchen invites us to simply be. It says, "You have done enough today. Now sit, rest, taste something sweet, share a little time with someone you care about." For older adults, this ritual can feel especially comforting. Many of us remember when the afternoons moved slower, when families gathered around the table without rushing, when conversation was unhurried and real. Kaffee und Kuchen brings back that rhythm. It reminds us that companionship does not require a celebration or a special occasion. It only requires attention and care. You do not need to be in Germany to bring this habit into your life. You do not even need cake. You only need the intention to pause. Perhaps every afternoon, or even once or twice a week, you could set aside 30 minutes to make a cup of tea or coffee. Sit by the window. Invite a friend. Call someone you love. Share a few stories. Look through old photographs. Or simply enjoy the stillness. These are not wasted minutes. They are healing ones. This ritual also reminds us that joy does not have to be loud or expensive. There is joy in a warm drink, joy in a familiar slice of apple cake, joy in hearing someone laugh softly across the table, and even if you are alone. This time becomes an offering to yourself, a gift of gentleness in a day that might otherwise pass by too quickly. There is something beautiful about choosing to mark the passage of time with care. Kaffee und Kuchen creates a little pause between the rush of the morning and the quiet of the evening. It teaches us to treat the ordinary as special, to make space for small pleasures, and to treasure the people and moments we still have. So perhaps the question is not whether we have time to stop. The real question is, what might we gain if we did? A habit like this does not just nourish the body, it feeds the soul. And in that pause, in that shared slice of something simple, we may just rediscover what it truly means to feel connected, to life, to others, and to ourselves. 9. Doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. Picture this: a quiet street, no cars in sight, Not a single person around. The pedestrian light is red, but there is nothing stopping you from crossing. Still, someone stands patiently at the curb, hands in their pockets, waiting. Why? No one is watching. No one would care. But they wait anyway. In Germany, this kind of quiet discipline is common. People follow the rules, not because they fear punishment, but because they believe in something larger, a shared understanding, a sense of responsibility, a belief that small choices shape the world around us. Doing the right thing is not a performance for others. It is a personal commitment to integrity, carried out in the smallest moments of daily life. This habit might seem simple, trivial even, but its meaning runs deep. It reflects a culture where trust is built one action at a time. When everyone does what is right, even when no one is watching, streets are safer, systems run smoother, communities feel more united, and people, neighbors, strangers, families, begin to trust each other a little more. For those of us in the later chapters of life, this value often feels familiar. Many of us were raised to believe that character is revealed in the quiet. That honor is not about praise, but about consistency. About making choices that are true to your values, even if no one ever notices. Especially if no one notices. You see, in a world where so much is measured by likes, views, or recognition, the decision to do something simply because it is right becomes revolutionary. Returning the shopping cart, picking up litter, holding the door, following the law even when it would be easier to ignore. These acts do not always earn applause, but they build something far more lasting, self-respect. And these small acts, done in solitude, begin to ripple outward. Children watch, strangers notice, a sense of order and care begins to take root. It is not about being rigid. It is about being intentional. You are showing, by example, that respect is not conditional. It does not depend on who is looking. It lives inside you. This habit is especially meaningful in our later years. As our roles shift, as our influence in the world changes, it is easy to wonder, do my actions still matter? The answer is yes. They matter more than ever. Because when you choose to do good in quiet ways, you become a steady presence in a world that can sometimes feel uncertain. You remind others, young and old alike, that dignity is found in the way we live when no one is paying attention. And in a time when many people feel unseen or unheard, choosing to live with quiet integrity becomes a powerful act of leadership. So the next time you have a choice, to cut a corner or take the extra moment, to ignore the rule or honor it, remember this: you are not just shaping your day, you are shaping the world, and even if no one else sees it, you will know. And that knowing, that still and steady truth inside you, is what builds a life of deep meaning. And so, these 9 simple habits, quiet, steady, and deeply human, remind us that a meaningful life does not require grand achievements. It is built in small choices, made again and again, with care and intention. Whether it is arriving on time, taking a quiet walk, or sharing coffee and cake, these gentle practices hold the power to bring us closer to one another and to ourselves. You do not need to be German to embrace them. You only need to be willing to slow down, pay attention, and honor what truly matters. If one of these habits spoke to your heart today, hold on to it, try it, share it, and perhaps in your own quiet way, you will pass that wisdom on, just by the way you live. Thank you for spending this time with us, here on Wise Elders Insight. Until next time, take good care.